Anybody that's been following what's been going on in the economy, basically, I mean, it was introduced because of the COVID and people being out of work and people told to stay home. And the Trump administration sent out some relief checks, but now it's on steroids. You cannot continue to print money and hand it out like the government has done and not expect inflation to take off. I mean, you'll see precious metals increase in value. You'll see real estate shoot through the roof. Among Democrats, 78% said they approve of Biden's economic agenda. That's down 7 points from April. Democrats who disapprove of his economic plan rose 6 points to 15%. That includes an 11-point drop in approval among Democrats under 40, an 8-point drop in approval among minority Democrats and Democrats without a college degree. The release of such polling results comes in after a poll from Echelon Insights that showed a majority of Americans attributed to rising prices to an increase in government spending. Yeah, it's that simple. So bottom line is Republicans have not been real happy with Joe Biden from the get-go, even before he was elected president. And now that he's implementing a number of pieces of his agenda, the Democrats are not approving. You know, what's interesting about this, too, though, is your moderate Democrats don't like the liberal direction he's taking the country and the economic disaster that he is creating. The ultra-liberal Democrats don't like Joe Biden because he's not getting anything through. I mean, the H.R. 1, the voting rights fiasco bill that he's trying to get through, that didn't go through. And they're upset with him because the promises he's made aren't happening. That is just a part of the problem. Kamala Harris, who will probably be the president before the end of the year, at least Benny thinks that, she's got her own set of problems. Now, we all know about the problems she has with the border crisis and her non-visit to the border, even though she says she's been there. People inside her own office are not happy with how things are being run. Politico, which is not a conservative publication, middle of the road at best. For days, aides and outside allies have been calling and texting with each other about the political fallout that a potential trip to the border would entail. Now, this came out, I mean, these comments came out before she got down to El Paso earlier in the week. But when it became known that she was going to El Paso, it left many people scrambling, including officials who were responsible for making travel arrangements and others outside the VP's office charged with crafting the message across the administration. The handling of the border crisis was the latest chaotic moment. Harris's team is experiencing low morale, breakdown in lines of communication, and diminished trust among aides and senior officials. Much of the frustration internally is directed at Tina Flournoy, Harris's chief of staff, a veteran of Democratic politics who began working for her earlier this year. In interviews, 22 current and former vice presidential aides, administration officials, and associates of Harris and Biden describe a tense and at times dour office atmosphere. Aides and allies said Flournoy, in an apparent effort to protect Harris, has instead created a narrow-minded environment where good ideas are ignored. While much of the ire is aimed at Harris's chief, two administration officials said VP herself, Harris herself, also bears responsibility for the way the office is run. It all starts at the top. People are thrown under the bus from the very top. There are short fuses, and it's an abusive environment, said another person with direct knowledge of how the Harris office is run. It's not a healthy environment, and people often feel mistreated. It's not a place where people feel supported, but a place where people feel like they are treated like Yeah, isn't this interesting? Now, again, this comes from Politico, which I moderate at best, more likely left-leaning. But is it not interesting here that you have an individual who during the campaign arrogantly claims she would solve the world's problems, and she can't even oversee her own office with a sense of civility? You know, during the campaign, remember when she talked down to Joe Biden, condemning him, accusing him of being a racist, being insensitive, unkind, and she can't even treat those working for her with a sense of decency. This is interesting. Harris and Flournoy's defenders also note that women power, black women in particular, are subjected to standards that men often don't have to clear. A tough and demanding office environment may be seen as a virtue for one and a sign of disorder and lack of leadership for another. Again, interesting. These same people who would say during the campaign, hey, we can do it just as well as anybody else can do it. We can do it just as well as the guys can do it. And they're the first ones to come out and make themselves the victims. Oh, it's so much harder for us. You don't realize how much more difficult it is for us. You know, I don't hear, they're saying it's much tougher for black women to do this. I don't hear Kay James saying that. I don't hear Condoleezza Rice saying that. I don't hear Carol Swain saying that. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And there are a number of examples in this Politico article. I mean, she's only been in office for 6 months, right? Not even 6 months. January 20th. And here she is with a number of her staff bailing. 2 top aides in this article are quoted as, we're out of here. We've had enough. We're not putting up with it. Apparently, it is not a happy place. Morals, the morale, I should say, and maybe the morals, too, are not in good shape in the Kamala Harris. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, you just keep laughing, lady.
I'm speaking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, listen, we're going to take a time out. Lots more to talk about, and we will be hearing from Mark Miller about the concert that takes place tonight at the Greenville Town Common. We'll be right back.
And we're on location at one of my favorite places in the whole planet because this is some of the best food you're ever going to eat in your life. We are at Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. It's one of my hangouts. It's one of the places that I love. I got my friend Pietro Passalacqua. How'd I do?
You did great.
Let's talk about the food. What makes this place? I know it's special Italian from authentic Italians, but tell us why it's so special.
Because everything we do, it's really what we came up on the menu from what we did at home, from my grandparents, my parents. So it's exactly what we eat at home, and that's what the way we cook. That's why it's special.
And the atmosphere in this place is special also. From the bar to the 2 dining areas. You got 2 different dining areas, and now the weather's nice, so there's going to be a lot of folks that want to eat outside.
Yeah, we have 2 rooms. One room is designed a little different. We're also working on the patio to make it more attractive and more useful in the summer with a cocktail service. And we're always improving our services.
And, of course, my friends here, my buddy, Chef Massimo, who I love, and Sal and Pietro, you guys do a great job here. Not just Italian, but I had a great pork chop here the other night. You got great steaks, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're also adding filet mignon in the future on our menu. And Massimo is coming out with a really good side dishes for it. And so we're really excited to come out with new meats and fish dishes.
All right, Nino's on Red Banks Road in Greenville. Same people that give you Marabello's and the great pizza that you get at Marabello's, but this is fine dining at Nino's. If you haven't been here, you don't know what you're missing. Come see them at Nino's on Red Banks Road. And Pietro, what is that famous saying about Nino's?
The food that you enjoy with people that you love.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit TopDogOnline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern living's best small town.
I just want to talk about the First and Second Amendment.
Celebrating our First Amendment every day.
We can't have a First Amendment right and then people be afraid to use it.
They will try to continue to oppose anything.
They have their First Amendment right.
They have to shut down free speech
because of the Second Amendment.
And anybody that opposes them.
And we can't have the Second Amendment without the First either.
Happy Independence Day from your freedom-loving friends, Tom Lambrecht and Benny Hardy, and producer Clark. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. It is News and Views for a Thursday. You know, you always hear these sad stories about homeless people living under bridges. We've actually got one of our folks here at Interbanks Media who is in that same situation. Although he is not under a bridge, he's basically living down at the town common. Mark Miller. Welcome back in.
That can't be. That's the worst lead-in I've ever had. No.
Oh my!
I am very happy to be here and in this current state of affairs, right here at the Town Common. We have got a great concert on the Common for you this evening. It's a hot one out here, folks. You'll want to get here and quench your thirst. We certainly have some beverages to go around as we get set for chairman of the board taking the stage at 6 o'clock. They are going to get you up and get you dancing tonight.
Now, do you remember? Are you too young to remember their when they were on the radio with their current hit? Give me just a little more time.
I know the song, but I might be a little bit too. It was a different era.
Yeah. Well, I'm dating myself, but I do remember it. In fact, I think I had that 45. Give me just a little more time.
Hey, Tom, what's a 45? No, I'm just kidding. It is good. Listen, they're going to bring back a lot of amazing memories and play a lot of amazing music tonight. Guaranteed to have you have a good time, no matter what age. Listen, you bring the kids; they're going to have fun. They might not have they might not have the 45 at home themselves, but it's a great time for everyone involved just to get out here, be together, listening to live music, eating, drinking, being merry, and we got the place for it right here at the Town Common.
And it sounds like the weather's going to cooperate. We are going to get rain, but it's not going to come in till like 3 a.m., so it should be another perfect night. So,
I mean, unless they're going all the way to 3 a.m., and we'll go along with them. But, I mean, after all, what have I got to do? I can just crawl back under the bridge.
There you go.
But no, they're going to have. I think the weather's going to be absolutely fine. It is definitely a hot one. Bring a little bit of shade if you want. Bring obviously the lawn chairs and all that kind of stuff. Stake your claim out here on the Town Common, and it's going to be just a fantastic night. We've been blessed with good weather. That's 3 Thursdays in a row now.
Yeah. And there's literally not a bad seat at all out there. The way they've developed the Town Common, just plop your blanket down or your lawn chair down and have a good time. Mark, thanks for calling in.
You bet, Tom. Thanks a lot.
Talk to you soon. Taking a look at your weather forecast for tonight. Again, there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms after 3 a.m. Your low tonight's going to be around 73. Chance of precip overnight is 30%. And then tomorrow, Friday, the rain is going to come in. After 9 a.m., the chance of rain jumps up to 90%. And we're looking at possibly getting 1 to 2 inches of rain tomorrow. So the farmers will like it, but tomorrow is probably going to be a washout. Friday night, showers will continue, and then Saturday, the sun comes back out and it cools down. So the front that's coming through is going to make Saturday a gorgeous day with a high of 83. Sunny on Sunday as well with a high of 86. Saturday night, it's going to be very pleasant, a low of 62 degrees. Weather brought to you by our friends at the Ironwood Country Club. Voted best golf course in Greenville 2 years in a row. Ironwood Golf and Country Club boasts an 18-hole Lee Trevino design course, full-service dining, an outdoor pool, tennis, and more. The newly renovated 15,000-square-foot clubhouse is the perfect place to make new traditions with your family. For a limited time, join Ironwood, pay zero initiation fee. Give them a call, 252-752-4653. Find out what makes Ironwood the best of Greenville 2 years in a row. Again, that number, 252-752-4653. Be a part of the best Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Truly, this is a golf course that's got a lot of character to it, but it's also been redone. I mean, they spent, I don't know how many tens of thousands of dollars redoing the main clubhouse last year, earlier this year. And they've redone the traps. They've redone the golf path, the golf cart path. And it is really great. If you love golf, you're not going to find a nicer golf course in eastern North Carolina than at Ironwood. The greens, the tee boxes, the fairways, all in great shape. Come out and enjoy it. Go out and play around out there and see how much you like it, then you're probably going to want to join. Town Hall is reporting, we talked about this earlier, twice, Jen Psaki, the White House press secretary, has come out and said that because the Republicans would not vote for Joe Biden's American Rescue Plan, which contained a very, very small percentage of the American Rescue Plan, which originally was supposed to be designed for COVID relief. The majority of the American Rescue Plan, a big hunk of it, went to pet projects for Democrats, including bailing out states that were run in manners that were malfeasant, is the best way to put it. You know, they had promised all kinds of pensions, and they just overspent. And basically, the American Rescue Plan was not to rescue the American citizen who suffered under COVID restrictions, but they were bailing out states that had been run in a malfeasant way for decades. But there was a small percentage in there for some police force operations. So Jen Psaki said because Republicans didn't vote for the American Rescue Plan, they were the ones that were for defunding the police. Now, she said that not once, but twice over the last 2 weeks. Peter Doocy, who has, I've got to give the guy credit. He's a young man. He's not, he's probably been on the White House beat now for maybe a year or two. He is the only individual out there at these White House press briefings who was asking any kind of penetrating question at all. He was the one that asked about the accusations that the White House was making, that Jen Psaki was making, that it was the Republic. Can you believe that they would actually come out and try to get away with this, that was the Republicans that were for defunding the police? Well, he actually came out yesterday and said, wait a minute. You have been saying this more than once. Could you please tell us exactly which Republicans you are talking about that are for defunding the police?
And on another subject, you mentioned at the last briefing that you think Republicans wanted to defund the police because they did not support the American Rescue Plan. Which Republican ever said that they did not like the American Rescue Plan because they wanted to defund the police?
Well, first, let me just note that the president ran and won the most votes of any candidate in history on a platform of boosting funding for law enforcement after Republicans spent decades trying to cut the COPS program. There's record of that. That doesn't require anyone having new comments, and then also stood in the way of crucial funding needed to prevent the laying off of police officers as crimes increased. That's a simple statement of fact.
I understand what you're saying there. However, there are lots of examples of Democrats explicitly saying they want to defund the police. We've got Congresswoman Cori Bush, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar. Are there any examples of Republican members of Congress saying they want to defund the police?
I think most people would argue that actions are more important than words, wouldn't you say?
Well, to that point, to your point there, at the time of the vote on the American Rescue Plan, you had the Republican leader in the Senate, Mitch McConnell. He said he just didn't like it because he thought it was a classic example of big government Democratic overreach in the name of COVID relief. And then Kevin McCarthy said he thought Democrats were using coronavirus as an excuse to justify funding pet projects.
Well,
where is we're going to vote against this because we want to defund the police?
Again, I think actions speak louder than words, Peter. So if you oppose funding for the COPS program, something that was dramatically cut by the prior administration and many Republicans supported, and then you vote against a bill that has funding for the COPS program, we can let other people evaluate what that means. It doesn't require them to speak to it or to shout it out. Their actions speak for themselves.
You can't make it up. You can't make it up. So in reality, Democrat-run cities have had the sharpest increase in crime rates due to lack of leadership and decreasing for law enforcement. I mean, they can say all they want to. It's amazing to me that they think the American people are that stupid. Even people that don't follow the news. They know what's going on. They know who the defunding the police are, the advocates are. And just as Peter Doocy said, they're still, those progressives are still bragging about it and still pushing for it. And Psaki can't come up with one name, not one name. He comes up with a half dozen right off the top of his head. She can't come up with one name of Republican who said they were for defunding the police. By the way, the folks down in the Miami area have said that the situation down there at the condo that collapsed, basically they have halted the search and rescue. It's sad. I think the number of deaths is now up to about a dozen. They found 2 young children who died in that collapse earlier today. The concerns included a 6 to 12-inch movement of a large column hanging from the structure that could fall and cause damage. I mean, at this point, it doesn't look good for those who have not already been found. And, the police chief down there, as well as the mayor, said that we can't lose any more lives while we're trying to do a search and rescue. So right now, it has been halted. We'll see where it goes from there. PJ Media is reporting 3 key House Republicans are demanding that J. Russell George, the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, investigate the recent IRS decision to deny a faith group's tax exemption application because they believe that prayer, the IRS believes that prayer helps Republicans more than Democrats. Yeah, this is another one you can't make up. Basically, Lois Lerner is back. The Lois Lerner replacement person is a guy named Stephen Martin. He succeeded Lerner as the chief of Exempt Organizations Division of the IRS. There was a group out of Texas called Christians Engaged, a nonpartisan group that taught people about certain issues that the Bible talks about, such as the sanctity of life, such as biblical marriage. This guy, Steve Martin, writes back to them when they didn't qualify in his eyes for being tax exempt. He said, you do not qualify as an organization described in the IRS Section 501c3. You engage in prohibited political campaign intervention. Quote, you educate believers on national issues that are central to their belief in the Bible as the inerrant Word of God. Specifically, you educate Christians on what the Bible says in areas where they can be instrumental, including the areas of sanctity of life, the definition of marriage, biblical justice, freedom of speech, defense, borders and immigration, U.S. and Israel relations. The Bible teachings are typically affiliated with the Republican Party and Republican candidates. This disqualifies you from exemption under IRC Section 501c3. So, again, we talked about this earlier. The reason why I'm bringing it back up is because now Jim Jordan, along with James Comer and Mike Johnson, 3 Republican members of Congress, are demanding this investigation by the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, Russell George. But again, it's humorous that this guy comes out and says, because the Republican Party more aligns itself with biblical values, and you teach biblical values, therefore you are partisan. Therefore, you do not get your tax-exempt status, which I guess at that the next thing that they'll try to do is deny tax-exempt status for every Bible-preaching church out there, right? I mean, if you're in the pulpit and you're preaching the sanctity of life and biblical marriage, well, apparently you align yourself too much with the Republican Party. We're going to have to take away your tax-exempt status. Again, you can't make it up. But what's interesting about this is more than likely in 2022, in the November elections, the midterm elections, more than likely, if things continue as they have been, you're going to see the Republicans take over the leadership of the House and more than likely take over the Senate as well. Right now it's a 50-50 tie with Kamala Harris casting the tie-breaking vote. And at that point, now, between now and then, the Inspector General, Russell Crowe, he probably will do an investigation. I imagine he will look into this because, again, it's beyond the pale. But when the Republicans take over, they will bring in this guy, Stephen Martin, who is the new Lois Lerner, just as they brought in Lois Lerner for what she did in denying Tea Party organizations their tax-exempt status. They will bring him in. But what's going to be interesting about this is Lois Lerner, when she came in, she simply subjected applicants to bureaucratic annoyances. You know, you got to answer more questions. You've got to send us more documents. She just kept stalling them and denying them. But Martin comes out and just out and out says, we are going to deny your tax-exempt status, and puts it in writing. The reason why. You know, it is startling, the blatant arrogance that these progressives show in their dismissal of conservatives, and especially conservative Christians. They don't even try to hide it. And I can only imagine it's due to the liberal bubble that they live within. Never travel outside of that progressive bubble. And they think everybody out there that has, 1 ounce of intelligence must think like I think. It doesn't matter what the Constitution says. It doesn't matter what the IRS regulations say. I am smarter. I am a progressive. Therefore, I can say whatever I feel like saying, and no one should ever question me. Yeah, it's the same thing as Hillary Clinton calling them deplorables. It's the same thing as Obama said when he said they cling to their guns and their Bibles. And by the way, yes, we do cling to our guns and Bibles. It's going to be an uncomfortable situation for this guy, Stephen Martin, when the House calls him in after 2022 to say, what have you done? Stay with us. More news and views coming up.
Break the chain. Eat local. Tiebreakers.
Hey, this is Hank Hinton back here at Full Service Flooring in Winterville. I'm here today with Corey Little, who's the operations manager here at Full Service Flooring. Corey's been here 6 months, but you've been in construction a long time. Tell us about what you do here at Full Service Flooring.
Yeah, I got over here about 6 months ago. I've been in construction for, like I said, a little over 20 years, and I've known Tim for a long time now, and he's brought me over here to see what new kind of things I can bring to the store and to our customers. And I'm in charge of scheduling, and I don't know what else. I'm in charge of everything. It seems like we work together as a team and try to pull it all together. I might do a measure one day and do a commercial floor the next day, but we just kind of all work together and pull it all together at one time.
So what's new in flooring? What is the hot new thing?
The hot new thing's LVP or LVT, depending on what you're looking for, which look you're looking for. It's a waterproof product. It's absolutely fantastic. You can't really beat it.
A lot cheaper than hardwoods?
It is definitely a cost-effective alternative to hardwoods, yes, sir.
So, Corey, how is business right now?
And business is good. Despite the pandemic, we're still seeing a lot of new customers in the store, and we get an opportunity to introduce our products in a lot of different situations right now.
Corey, you've got a lot of experience in the construction industry. How is that helping you here with people, helping people with flooring here at Full Service Flooring?
Sure. I try to take the experiences that I've gained over my time in construction to help apply that to the flooring, whether it be with what the structure is made out of, the subfloor that we're going over top of, or maybe even just how it coordinates with your kitchen cabinets in construction or in your bathroom and how the tub and everything all ties together.
And a customer can just come here and see you anytime?
Absolutely. We're here 6 days a week, and we just love to see a new customer in here anytime. They can always call us and schedule something with us so that we can make sure we have our time allotted for them.
Corey, thank you so much. That's Corey Little here at Full Service Flooring. Come see these guys. They're on Tilco Drive in Winterville, 756-9308 and fullserviceflooring.com.
In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's Got to Be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agricultural products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
This is your Drive at 5 and ENC with Tom Lamprecht. Welcome back to News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
Welcome back in. Interesting story from Fox News. Former Democratic Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams now owns 2 homes in Georgia, collectively worth $1.4 million, despite having hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt in her unsuccessful run against Brian Kemp for governor. The former candidate was catapulted into the national spotlight during her slugfest with the 2018 run against Kemp. Since her failure to win that race, Abrams has made a series of property purchases in DeKalb County that have been scrubbed from the county tax assessor's website. Most county tax assessors in the state of Georgia, such as in Abrams, DeKalb County, have a searchable database for property information, but you can request to have that information taken offline. The former state lawmaker purchased her first home in DeKalb County for $246,000 in 2004 and purchased a second home in the area in 2019 for $370,000, now valued at $409,000. Fast forward to October 2020, just days before the presidential election, Abrams sold the home she bought in 2004 for $400,000 and purchased a second home for $975,000. The home Abrams purchased in October of last year is now valued at over $1 million. The two houses are worth a combined $1.4 million. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, per se, except for the fact that she still owes hundreds of thousands of dollars for her 2018 campaign. So far, she has no comment. PJ Media is reporting it was an interesting day in the Arizona House of Representatives yesterday. Liberal Democrat Daniel Hernandez felt the need to mock people concerning communism because to him, he said white nationalism is the real problem, not communism. What exactly white nationalism is pretty much anybody's guess. It's a definition depending on what a liberal is speaking about at the point, what agenda they're trying to propagate. Not amused by Hernandez's lame excuse at a snark was Representative Quang Nguyen, a refugee who fled communism and lost family members. He was from Vietnam, and here's what he had to say in response to Representative Daniel Hernandez's snarky comments.
I just got irritated, so I came over here and pressed the white button. Is it okay if I say white button? You know, I just recently heard somebody said that white nationalism, or actually communism is not the enemy, but white nationalism. So let me tell you something about white nationalism. White nationalism didn't drown 250,000 Vietnamese in the South China Sea. The communists did. White nationalism did not execute 86,000 South Vietnamese at the fall of Saigon. Communists did. White nationalism did not put me here. Communism did. So don't take it lightly. Don't mock me. Don't mock what I go through in life. It's rough. I lost most of my cousins, my family members, due to communism. If we don't stand up to teach communism to our children, we'll lose this country. So, sir, don't mock me. I'm pissed.
Ought to be. Ought to be. You know, this is the part where people who have never experienced communism claim that we need to have the right kind of communism. It's never been tried before. They've never perfected it. You know, there's only one kind of bad communism, and it's not good. Wherever, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, a right government is run by moral people. And it doesn't matter what kind of government you're under. If it's run by despots, if it's run by immoral people, you're going to have things like what happened to the family of the state representative in Arizona. You know, the dangers of communism are real. The dangers of whiteness is a leftist talking point. And by the way, what's interesting, so this Representative Quang Nguyen, the Vietnamese refugee, according to the Washington Examiner, as a senator, Joe Biden was adamant that the United States had no obligation, moral or otherwise, to evacuate foreign nationals, dismissing concerns for their safety as the North Vietnamese Army and the Viet Cong swept into South Vietnam towards Saigon in 1975. No obligation. Hey, we've got to take another time out. When we come back, the Tolkien Society, J.R. Tolkien, apparently they're getting woke over J.R. Tolkien. We'll talk about that when we get back.
Got a trade? Now's the time at Greenville Toyota. Never in history has your trade been worth more. Get paid today. Then get a new Toyota hot off the delivery truck. Hurry before they're gone. Like Camrys, $189 a month. Rush to Greenville Toyota.
Anything could happen ever since I met you. Let me take you dancing.
Introducing Pepsi Mango.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Sawyer's Fun Park in Winterville is now open. With over 40,000 square feet of family fun, daily money-saving deals, and a full-service restaurant, Sawyer's Fun Park is guaranteed to have something the whole family will love. Test your ninja skills on our 2-story obstacle course or head over to one of our 5 rock walls and race your friends to the top. And when you've worked up an appetite in our laser tag arena or our one-of-a-kind ropes course, grab a table over at the restaurant and try our world-famous Southern Monster Fries. Reserve your spot today at SawyersFunPark.com and come join in on the fun.
My name is Dr. Neeti Armistead, Chief Medical Officer for Vidant Health. The following simple steps will help keep you and your community safe. Stay home as much as possible, wear a mask when out in public, avoid large gatherings, practice social distancing, and wash hands often. It's also important not to delay needed care. Vidant has taken important steps to provide you and your family with a safe environment. Learn more about COVID-19 and Vidant's response. Call 252-847-8000 or visit vidanthealth.com/COVID-19.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
This one's for everyone who spends the amount of time it would take to watch a movie, agreeing on which movie to watch. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Toyota shoppers, now's the time at Greenville Toyota. Shipments of factory fresh Toyotas are arriving daily and being sold almost immediately, like Corollas for $159 a month. Get yours before they're gone. Now's the time. Rush to Greenville Toyota.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor.
First thing you should do after work.
I turn on the radio.
Check in with Tom and Benny.
Gotta know what's happening in my city. What's going on in my backyard.
Things that are happening locally.
I like the local news.
Things that I don't hear everywhere else.
For the local news you want.
Kept me informed for all of the local stuff, you know. It let me know what was going on in the local community.
Eastern Carolina's news source is News and Views on Talk 96.3 and 103.7.
So this weekend, the Tolkien Society, which honors J.R. Tolkien, well, they used to honor J.R. Tolkien. Now they're basically trying to repackage J.R. Tolkien. They're going to host a virtual summer seminar, and they're going woke. So they've invited papers to look at the works of J.R. Tolkien, who is the author of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and many other fine pieces of work. He was a devout Roman Catholic, and his works, while they're fantasy, have much Christian symbolism in them. I mean, they're fun reads, but there's a lot of Christian symbolism in them. So now they're asking for people to submit papers that would find transgenderism, anti-racism, and queerness in The Lord of the Rings. You can't make it up, folks. Anytime there's something good, parasites basically want to come in and destroy it and just suck the life out of it. So things like there's a paper that will be presented called Gondor in Transition, a brief introduction to the transgender realities in The Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's what they're going to start pushing. You know what's interesting about this and sad about this? Of course, J.R. Tolkien passed away in 1973. His son, Christopher Tolkien, passed away last year. Perhaps the reason why the Tolkien Society is now going woke, going left, is because who was left to defend J.R. Tolkien, to express what certainly would have been his utter disgust as his works are twisted to fit the LGBTQ agenda. Fans and conservative Christians, especially faithful Roman Catholics, can still speak out. Tolkien did not push transgenderism or queerness, and to insinuate that he did is a fantasy. By the way, finishing off with a piece of good news. The Institute for Family Studies found a surprising outcome when it tabulated the latest U.S. Census Bureau data. The percentage of children who live in two-parent households has risen to a 30-year high of 70.4%. This is really, really significant news. It was basically back in 1990 that the number fell below 70%, dropping down to, in the early 90s, to 68.7%. It actually dropped in about 2005 to 67.3%. Since it's been on a slight rise. So the number of children living in a two-parent household, this is basically all demographic categories, has risen to a 30-year high of 70.4%. Perhaps this is the good news that we've been waiting for a long, long time, because the breakdown of the nuclear family, the breakdown of absentee fathers, absentee mothers, but especially absentee fathers, and especially for young men of every racial demographic, this is so important that they have the influence of a mom and a dad in their life. Hey, thanks for being with us today. This reminder, we will be off on Friday and Monday for Independence Day. Have a great 4th of July celebration, and we will look forward to being with you come next Tuesday. Continue to pray for our country, and wish you the best over this 4th of July. We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye, everybody.
All right, all right, all right. In North Carolina, we get up before the sun rises and stay up into the wee hours of the night. We believe in working hard and playing harder. Behind every meal, there's a farmer, and behind every farmer, there's got to be NC, the official state identity program for North Carolina agriculture products. Look for the Got to Be NC logo wherever you shop or eat, and you'll know you're getting a quality product grown, raised, caught, or made in North Carolina.
We're on location at Fabric and Home Furnishings, and I'm back with my friend Lisa Pendry. And Lisa's been telling me about all the great renovations that have been going on here in the store, and I've been looking around, and it looks fantastic. Tell us what you've done here.
Well, we've knocked some walls down, we've painted, we've added some new vendors, lots of new exciting things going on. So we're making room for everybody to get what they need to transform their homes.
Looks fantastic in here. Last time we talked, you were saying that you were able to deliver a lot faster than most other furniture stores. Is that still the case?
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we're still looking at around 8 to 10 week delivery, and we do sell our floor samples right off the floor.
All right, we always say that Fabric and Home Furnishings is more than just a fabric store, so tell us what the more is all about. What when people come in, what should they expect?
Well, we love to get to know our customers. I have the best crew I've ever had, and everybody on my team is an interior designer. So we offer in-home design service, which we always have, but now they can each come out to your home after they work with you in here, figure out what's going on in your residence or your commercial property to pull it together and help you make everything beautiful.
You got great folks here.
I do.
I can tell you, I haven't gotten to know them. It's like a family when you come in here, and everybody gets along well, and you can tell that these guys and gals really know what they're talking about when it comes to interior design.
They do, and that's really what makes us different. We offer complete in-home design service. We don't charge a by-the-hour fee. It's a flat one-time fee. We work with you in here, in your home, in your business, and help pull everything together.
All right, it's more than just a fabric store. Fabric and Home Furnishings in Arlington Village. Come see this lady. She's fantastic. Fabric and Home Furnishings. Come see the renovations here in Arlington Village. And thank you for the visit today.
Thank you, Henry.
All right, you got to come see what they've done in the store here on Arlington Boulevard in Arlington Village.